So, starting off with the workout with a bit of a chest fly or chest press, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, felt pretty good. Um, the main reason I like rotating my wrists is because I feel a lot better uh, in that position uh, in comparison to the usual like fly movement. But yet again, I still have an injured shoulder. I still need to be very, very careful with it. So I'm doing this and being extremely cautious of not being an idiot and trying to rip my goddamn tendon off. But yet again, literally like a press fly thing. It's just to build up my chest and maintain it, and just so when I do get back to full health and benching, that I don't um, have chronic depression and really hate my life and consider alt F4ing God's server. But we're not going to do that because yet again we can always build it back up because I suppose it's the fun of the game at this point because um, when you eventually get that one injury that puts one of your lifts down, you just think, I'll make it back. I'll make it back 10 times better. Which with my squat, I used to have an injury with that, and now it's getting better. So all hoping for the best, shall we say. And yeah, it looks pretty good, the chest flies, but now we're on to some cable raises. Now with this, what I tend to do is almost like, hyperextend my back and push my back muscles down. So the main muscle that's working is my side delt. So with this, just picture pushing your back down, and that mainly gets me to activate more of the shoulder itself. But you can always try this. But yet again, it does take your traps out of the equation, because let's say if you're just doing regular cable raises, you're gonna activate your traps, because if you're a bit forward or a bit straight up, your traps get activated because you are shrugging the weight up almost, and you don't really want to do that on a shoulder day. So what I tend to do is just pull my back down and almost drag my back down to my ass basically, and then just try and put my mind into the muscle and activate my shoulders. That's just typically how I see it. But yeah, it looked pretty good, and it felt pretty good is all I can definitely say, because with shoulders I don't really need to do much, because my shoulders are quite a strong point on my physique, as well as my rear delt or whatever. My rear delt is just been a godsend of literally, it doesn't need much stimulation. All it needs is literally just a couple rows, couple bits of stimulation from shoulders, and then it's fine. And then front delts basically bench press and everything, but I can't do that. So I just don't particularly, activate my other two delt areas, if you want to call it that. But I just tend to find I'm quite fine with them. But anyway, now to a muscle that's very, very hard for me to activate. It's triceps, because I tend to find, because when I started working out, it just wasn't working, so I didn't really do them that often. And later in my lifting journey, I decided, I do need some triceps. It's not all about biceps. So I started trying to do them, and yeah, they've come a long way. So I do a bit of pre-fatigue, which I don't know why I only recorded one set. I did 3, and then I did 3 sets of tricep push down, but you know, some days you forget to record because you're too in the moment, you know. But as you can see, the tricep has come a long way. It's a lot thicker than it used to be. I mean, I used to have twig arms, used to be incredibly skinny, so I'm very, very happy with the development here. I mean, just wait until I cut down, so that'll hopefully be in November time when I turn 20, so that'll be pretty cool. But anyway, onto some biceps, because with this I did some basically some cable curl, double arm cable curl thing. I did 3 sets of this, but yet again I forgot to record, which is very, very odd of me, but I think I was just like too in the moment. I wanted to get out of there, which is basically my entire thing. But yeah, and then moved on to some single arm cable curls, because I thought I do have an imbalance in my arms, so I am trying to even them out. So by doing some unilateral work, it will even out over time, which it's getting there, but it's still a bit, you know, I look like a massive wanker. So I'm trying to not look like a wanker, because yeah, I am right side dominant, but I'm not that much of a wanker. But overall process of it is gone quite well, because it used to be a lot worse. I used to look like a Doomfist, if you've ever played Overwatch, like the guy with a massive fuck off arm and then just like his regular arm. I used to look like that, apart from the fact I am white and not bald. But yes, through doing unilateral work, I've managed to, you know, even out myself a bit more, and still proceeding to even myself out more, because I don't want to look like I, you know, toss off every day. You know, like Quagmire in that one episode where he had the massive arm for masturbating too much. But now onto some posing. As you can see, shoulders pretty dominant, arms looking pretty good, and yeah, all's looking good. Lats looking pretty good, as well as arms. Even though I didn't do lats today, then take the, you know, the shirt off. You can see the abs. I'd say here I'm around 15% body fat. I'd definitely say around that. But yeah, go into some other poses and everything. But workout was pretty good. Just quick in and out, and yeah, all sorted, and got the stimulation I needed. So that was a very short workout. Only took me like 45 minutes to get it completed, really. I mean, you don't really need that much time necessarily to, you know, get a workout in and then go, really. Now, the only reason why it takes like 45 minutes is because, of course, I don't have a compound, because I'm trying to bench once a week, you know, keep my shoulder moving and everything. And instead, doing just flies, I can't do any light dumbbell pressing movements or any other pressing movements, because it just hurts, you know. But with cables, it feels fine. So at least I'm getting a bit of stimulation of the chest. But yet again, it all comes down to, you know, that and everything. But hopefully there's nothing too damaged here. But yeah, yeah, the overall, feeling okay. You know, nothing much. You know, like all my muscles were quite fatigued anyway from MMA, and yeah, it didn't really take much for me to stimulate them enough. I mean, I've got a gammy toe and everything. My gammy toes. It's where like the surface area of my skin's just like ripped off, but it'll be fine. I just need to put a plaster over it. But but it'll be fine anyway. But yeah, sometimes I just find it very hard to keep moving, which yet again a lot of people do find it hard. And yeah, just in like terms of my life currently, it isn't really that, appealing. Like today I've gone to the gym, I've been at home all day, trying to find a job, trying to do other things, and I'll say this as a, just like a person or whatever, is that it is pretty hard trying to find a job, one, and also sticking to finding a job, because the amount of failure I've had, even with the amount of experience I've had, like I've had 3 jobs and it still hasn't, settled in. I mean, I need to have my tea now. But yeah, just had my tea and did a little plastering on my foot so I don't get a toe infection. Because it's pretty open gash anyway, but on 2 toes, but I get those a lot. I'm so glad it's not on my knee, because the knees are, well, I'm kind of, on my knees I don't really feel, but with my toes it can be a bit stingy, but not much pain. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I just find it a bit harder, to keep on going, but I'm gonna do it for, my mum and dad, because, they didn't, raise me just for me to go. So I'm just gonna keep going, even though that there's not much that I see, there's no light at the end of the tunnel I see. But hopefully, through my actions, I'll eventually see that light at the end of the tunnel. But we all have the moments. I mean, yeah, I'm not getting much socializing. I'm not getting much, anything now that I'm just, basically doing fuck all. So, yeah. But I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the hours, as The Rock says. But it does take a toll, so I'm trying to, keep my mind in check and everything. So that's a good thing, just keeping my mind stimulated now and again. So like, doing my videos, doing the reels, it really does help. And, your support helps if you've even made it to a bit of this video. It really does help and everything, but it can only go so far. I mean, I remember when I used to have 3-figure views at one point, and then I just dropped off because, I don't know, I don't think my videos are all that entertaining, but I do post like consistently, like every week, like 5 times a week. So I suppose it's a bit, I can't really, do much with it, especially in my gym, where it's not like I can hook a mic up to myself and just like talk like a schizophrenic person. But I mean, that's not how I do it. I like to do it. I like to do my commentary when I'm, back, where I'm in an environment where I can, choose my words. I don't have to think I'm on the spot. But yeah, I just prefer like the voiceover type stuff, because then it's like I don't really have to. I can always go again. I can't. Yet again with that. But overall, stuff's going pretty well. In terms of the gym, things are feeling pretty good. Squat is feeling a bit better. Deadlifts are going pretty good. Yeah, I'll be working up to 230 for 2 with deadlift. Squat, it's gonna have to depend. definitely 210 is in my range, but do I really want to overdo it, like overshoot it? And with my bench, that's clearly in the air, because don't know what to do with that. But hopefully all goes well, and you know, stuff starts to look out for me, basically. But anyway, thanks for watching it to the end if you have. I really do appreciate it. And please like and subscribe and share this video if you want to. Now, goodbye.